In 2020, Emirates grounded its Airbus A380 fleet when the COVID-19 pandemic emerged. However, what was the impact of the groundings? Did the airline back the plane's return? And more importantly, where does the series stand now in 2025? When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, Emirates' immediate response was similar to that of many other international airlines, marked by a lot of uncertainty. However, by the end of March 2020, the tough decision was made to ground around 85% of the active fleet, which included a significant portion of the A380 subfleet and most of the 777s, also present across the business. Given that Emirates relies on a hub-and-spoke model with high-capacity jets, when the pandemic arrived, international travel ceased, therefore the Dubai-based carrier's ability to serve its network was affected. Emirates confirmed it was therefore unable to operate its passenger services in a viable manner until not only countries reopened their borders, but also confidence to travel returned. At this point, no estimate was provided on when confidence would return. In a memo shared with employees at the beginning of 2020, Emirates confirmed the fleet reduction was to take place. By April, the airline had parked its A380 fleet across airports such as Dubai World Central and Dubai International. This mass-scale parking was unlike anything previously seen. However, it was a grounding that was essential to preserve Emirates. Even if it wanted to continue flying the 380, the opportunities for it to do so were massively limited due to zero demand for overall travel. The grounding of the A380 fleet was a real struggle for Dubai-based Emirates. While the 777 was also parked, it resulted all in all in adverse effects. The A380 is its flagship, and with over 100 units to its name at the time, it was a landmark moment in the history of the brand. In an era where airlines have sought to move away from the A380, Emirates has instead continued to defend the program and its importance across the business, especially when they felt demand would return. Now, in the mid-2020s, Emirates' love for the plane remains evident. This is certainly highlighted through many airlines having already retired the type or looking to retire it in the short term. However, the Dubai-based airline is approaching retirement completely differently. The carrier recognizes the importance of the 380 to its business. It intends to keep the jet flying into the 2040s through an ongoing retrofit program worth billions of dollars, part of upgrades aimed at ensuring high customer satisfaction levels are met. A significant factor in the carrier's decision to retain the 380 is not only its affection for the program, but also the lack of a suitable replacement. Plane makers have shifted their focus away from super jumbos and instead developed twin-engined, more efficient and flexible planes for their commercial airplane divisions. As a result, Emirates finds itself without a dedicated replacement, and given the importance of the type, it aims to therefore retain the plane for as long as possible, really going against its previously established business model of keeping a youthful fleet. It actually sees now greater opportunities to retain the plane thanks to other A380s being scrapped and therefore the ability to source spare parts to maintain the business coming available. Emirates has even gone one step further and pushed Airbus to release a new model. It dubs this the A380neo, suggesting that it would invest tens of billions into the launch of a program, and even has gone as far as sending designs to the manufacturer to help progress with a fresh iteration. Unfortunately, there has been no progress on a new 380 model, so therefore companies that still rely on the jet must find a way to move forward in the future. For Emirates, the reactivation of its A380 fleet was always going to be a high priority. This was something that it also was not going to be able to control, given the state of the world during that period. That didn't mean, though, it wasn't a priority. By the third quarter of 2020, for example, Emirates had already confirmed that it would resume 380 flying to 5 cities across the network, a bold plan during such uncertain times. The Dubai-based company stating that it would continue to explore ways to gradually expand the deployment of the world's largest passenger aircraft, driven by increasing demand and also the necessary government approvals for flying. However, as highlighted by Qantas's complicated return of the A380 to service, reactivating a type of this size isn't simple and requires many employees to bring it back to life, as necessary checks are conducted. As the years have progressed, demand began to surge back quite significantly, and as a result, Emirates continued to bring back the plane. Now that the A380 has been reactivated and is serving markets right around the world, Emirates will aim to retain the plane for as long as possible. With no dedicated replacement on the cards, the company will now need to find ways to replace the jet over the next 2 to 3 decades. This task will be complicated, given that no plane maker is offering a dedicated replacement to operators. Despite this, Emirates has reaffirmed its stance that the jet will remain active in its operation until at least after the 2040s, likely making it the last airline to have the type. Fittingly, the operator that really has supported the program the most will likely be the last to retain it. Although bittersweet to this day, Emirates really does play a massive role in why this program could even ever so slightly be considered a commercial success. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, take care, be safe, and I'll see you in a couple of days right back here on GlobeTrotting.
And we'll fly.